that we all knew was coming has finally happened. But before I get started with this demonstration, make sure y'all watch this video. Breaking news. Breaking news. P. Diddy has finally been arrested. But before I get started with the demonstration, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is the opinions of mine and others. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is only allegedly. I knew it was going to happen. Now, if there's anyone that would like to join me on the panel, come on up. Click the YouTube link. This is going to be an open panel. So if any of y'all that's out there in the chat, if y'all want to come up on a panel with me, stroll up and click on the YouTube link. That's at the top. Let me pin it. Okay, I even went as far as pinning it. Salute to the chat. Salute, salute, salute. It has finally happened, y'all. It has finally happened. Is any of y'all surprised? Is any of y'all surprised? See, this is how the FBI works. And they have done it several times, more than several times. They've done it with Murder Inc., Irv Gotti. Salute to the chat, y'all. Now, what they done with P. Diddy, because the Homeland Security raids, that took place months ago, right? And everybody was wondering, why haven't they arrested P. Diddy yet? See, the feds, they move strategically. What did they do? Can anybody tell me how the feds played P. Diddy? Salute. I see everybody. The feds did what? They waited until P. Diddy's money started to run low. Cassie, that was a $30 million lawsuit. I know some of y'all feel like, Shank, 30 million, that ain't nothing to P. Diddy. It's a lot to P. Diddy if the money that he had been making over the years has stopped. He lost, what was it, 18 different brands, stopped doing business with them. Last time I checked, the Bad Boys, that catalog, the Bad Boy records, when the last time y'all heard a Bad Boy record on the radio? All right. Remember, months ago, he was willing to give the Locks they masters. He was willing to give them their publishing and everything because the publishing ain't worth nothing. Now, last month, or was it last week, he lost the lawsuit for $100 million. $100 million. Positive Vibe says Diddy's money is definitely low and about to get even lower. Esther says, I never liked his liquor. Anyway, it tastes like piss and antifreeze. But let's just jump to some legal experts and hear what they got to say. Once again, if any of y'all would like to join me on the panel, click on the YouTube link and come on up and give your opinion. This is an open panel.
Tonight, Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul. His attorney tells CNN that he is currently being processed The charges are unclear as of this moment. Joining us now is CNN's entertainment reporter Elizabeth Wagmeister, and also with us CNN chief legal correspondent Ellie Honig. Elizabeth, you were a big part of revealing some details about Diddy's conduct in private over the course of the last couple of months. That video led to a lot more scrutiny on what he has been accused of. What do we know at this point about what this case might ultimately be about?
Abby, at the moment, we don't know what the charges are. I have information that he was arrested tonight at a Manhattan hotel. He is currently being processed. I heard from his attorney, they are still maintaining his innocence. They said that in anticipation of these charges, that Diddy relocated to New York last week. And here's a statement that I have from his attorney. He says, "We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office." He goes on to say that he is an imperfect person, but is not criminal. Now, Abby, that video that you just spoke about was a few months ago when our team broke this disturbing video of Diddy violently assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, better known as the singer, her stage name, Cassie. Now, up until this point, when we broke this video, Diddy had denied the allegations against him. Cassie is one of 10 civil suits against Diddy, 9 of which he is accused directly of sexually assault. Up until that video, he denied everything. After that video came out, he changed his tone. He apologized for his conduct in that video. But I have to tell you, Abby, just as of last week, a former member of Danity Kane, which was one of the bands from Making the Band, Diddy's show that was on MTV, she sued him for sexual assault and other disturbing allegations, and he denied that. So he continues the denials, and he still maintains his innocence, even though he has been arrested tonight.
And Ellie, not a huge amount of information available tonight, but Elizabeth brought up something that I want you to give us a little bit of insight into. Diddy is here in New York, in Manhattan. He apparently came here in anticipation that something like this might happen. What should we understand about what that might mean? It could very well be that this is a federal arrest being processed here in New York.
So, Abby, there are some important things we do not know, including the specific charges that have been lodged against Sean Combs. But there are some really important things we do know. First of all, based on the attorney's statement, based on our reporting, this is a federal prosecution. It's not a state prosecution. The fact that he's being processed in Manhattan tells me that's the Southern District of New York. That's consistent with the reporting that the Southern District of New York had been handling this case. That's the office I used to work at. That's an office that sort of specializes in high stakes cases. Just in the last year or so, Southern District of New York, just as an example, has successfully prosecuted Sam Bankman-Fried, Senator Robert Menendez. The other thing that we do know is a grand jury has indicted Sean Combs, meaning they found probable cause that he committed at least one federal crime. Now, as to what happens next, there will be, likely tomorrow or within the next couple of days, but usually in the SDNY, you try to do it the next day, there will be an arraignment, meaning Sean Combs will appear in court with his lawyers. There are no cameras in federal court. He will be advised of the charges against him, and he will almost certainly enter a not guilty plea. But the key thing to watch for is then we'll have the question of bail. Will prosecutors agree to let him out on bail? Will prosecutors ask the judge to lock him up pending trial? That could end up in a contentious argument. So these are things that are going to play out over the next 24 or 48 hours. And finally, Abby, with respect to the charges themselves, it's important to note, we've all seen that video, but assault and sexual assault are not federal crimes. Those are prosecuted in state court. So what I expect to see when we see this indictment is some sort of crime with some element of organization to it, sex trafficking, something along those lines, if it's based on some of the allegations we've heard.
And of course, back in March, his homes in LA and in Miami were raided. All of this leading up to this moment. Elizabeth and Ellie, a lot more to this story will be coming up in the coming days and weeks.
Sources telling CBS News New York that Homeland Security agents took the music mogul into custody tonight. Jennifer Bisram live in Midtown with the very latest. Jennifer.
Hi, Maurice. We've learned from multiple federal law enforcement sources tonight that Sean P.Diddy Combs has been arrested and is now in federal custody. We've learned that he was taken into custody from this very hotel we are standing in front of, the Park Hyatt, sometime this evening. Now, the music mogul has been under mounting scrutiny since last year when a lawsuit was filed by his ex-girlfriend Cassie, accusing him of sex trafficking and years of abuse. Back in March, Sean Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami were searched by Homeland Security agents. The reason for this arrest and possible charges have not yet been revealed, but this evening we did hear from his attorney, who called the developments an unjust prosecution. In a statement, his attorney said in part, he is an imperfect person, but he is not a criminal. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Now, again, it is still unclear what charges Sean Combs has been arrested under. A news conference, we're told, is expected to be held tomorrow morning by federal law enforcement. That is when we are going to learn more. But again, tonight we are learning that Sean P. Diddy Combs has been arrested and is now in federal custody.
And this, I'm just going to say this for all my Shanquella Robinson, Justice for Shanquella Robinson people. It's like I was stating when the question was asked, or people were saying that Deja Nate Jackson was arrested. And like I was telling everybody, when you get arrested, when the feds, when the state, when any time you get arrested, the public is definitely going to know. But let me read some comments. Juanita says it was just a matter of time that they was going to come for him. Just a matter of time, Juanita. Esther says he gained the world fame and fortune and lost it all behind ego and being devilish. I got to set my settings, y'all. I'm going to be right back. All right. So there y'all have it. Salute, Miss Parker. There y'all have it. Once again, if anybody would like to come up on a panel with me, click on the YouTube link. It's an open panel tonight. It's an open panel. Some might say that we are bashing a black man. Some might say that, salute Suntan, I see y'all down there. Some might say that we should back up off of P. Diddy and let the courts handle it. No. Because for too long, P. Diddy allegedly has been getting away with mishandling people. Anybody that followed P. Diddy, anybody that's familiar, anybody that loved the bad boy artists as well as their music, you know the stories that the bad boy artists came out and spoke on when it came to P. Diddy. In this case, you reap what you sow. P. Diddy is just getting a taste of his own medicine. Salute Joe. Joe said, did they say what the charges are? They haven't said what the charges are yet, Joe. Positive Vibe says, way too long doing people harsh. And that's what we got to look at and understand. And I said this on the earlier demonstration. I don't care if you're black, white, Mexican. I don't care what race you are. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm not defending it by no means. Wrong is wrong. Suntan says he know what he had done. Exactly. He know what he had done. And it's sad because let's go all the way back to the young lady in the nightclub shooting. Remember? She said, I saw who shot me. Salute Melanated Queen. Appreciate you for pulling up. Salute Melanated Queen. If you want to drop your link in the chat, Melanated Queen, feel free to drop your link. We are also on the way of establishing different sectors. Damn, and Shano told me that name of that other sector. Melanated Queen, what other sector did Shano mention that he wanted to merge that sector and the switching lane sector together? Do you remember, Melanated Queen? But let me, because this is breaking news. So let me see if I can find some more information on it. All right, let's see what this is. Let me see what this is. For those that just pulled up, breaking news, P.Diddy has been taken into custody by the feds.
To you out of the world of entertainment. We're getting this in from TMZ. Alex Michelson there at Fox 11 in Los Angeles has it in this tweet here that Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested after being indicted by a grand jury in New York. That's according to the New York Times, also according to TMZ as well here. It's not immediately clear what charges he is facing. So this is quite significant here. I want to just show you some file footage of Diddy over the years. Now, TMZ has an update saying that a law enforcement source is telling them the arrest was scheduled for Tuesday, but something happened that caused the feds to move in a day earlier. So Diddy, if you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him. Also, TMZ says we have unconfirmed reports the feds are searching his hotel room. They were told that Diddy was taken to the FBI field office in Manhattan. So you will remember that earlier this year, you remember these scenes over his homes in both Miami and there, as well in Beverly Hills, where those search warrants were issued and those searches of his properties were given, and they were executed there at his homes as part of these ongoing criminal investigations into alleged sex trafficking. Now, at the time, it was very unclear what the search warrants referred to there at the time. But according to TMZ, the arrest tonight is in connection with those searches. And you remember at the time that we were over this story for a very long time that day earlier this year. I'm trying to get an exact date from my producer to jog my memory. March the 25th. So March 25th, the same day, 2 of Diddy's residences were searched by federal law enforcement there in Beverly Hills and his home in Miami in connection to what we knew at the time was an alleged federal sex trafficking investigation. And you remember these scenes, his mansion there in the Holmby Hills and his mansion there in Miami. So this is breaking right now. We are working to get more details. We are working to get more people on the line to help us make sense of what exactly happened today. But all we know right now is that Diddy has been arrested in New York. The New York Times and TMZ both have it. I have it up here at the New York Times. They say this, I'm reading from their piece, that Sean Combs, the music mogul whose career has been upended by sexual assault lawsuits in a federal investigation, was arrested in Manhattan on Monday evening after a grand jury indicted him. Now, this is important. At the time, we brought on legal affairs journalist Megan Cuniff, who is based in Los Angeles, and she noted at the time, back in March, that it looked like these warrants were approved by judges in New York, which led Megan Cuniff to believe at the time that maybe the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York was the lead on these probes in these investigations into federal sex trafficking allegations here. Now, that was Megan Cunniff's supposition at the time. I think it has borne out now because Diddy was arrested by federal authorities in Manhattan. And from what I was told, from what I remember at the time, a judge in New York signed off on the search warrants for the searches of his properties in Los Angeles and in Miami. Now, if we get any more clarification on that, or if Megan Cunniff, who we might bring on, can correct me if I'm wrong here. But at the time, Megan Cunniff, we had asked her, would Diddy be held liable or would any legal action be taken against him personally in the immediate wake and aftermath of those raids on his mansions in California and Florida? Megan Cunniff at the time told us she didn't believe it would happen immediately, that the feds would present their case most likely to a grand jury, which we now know has been done there.
We know why the feds didn't rush in right away, because P. Diddy has money. He had money. And so the feds played it smart. The feds said, okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to ruin his reputation. We're going to make it where as though any money that he has coming in, we're going to make it where as though he not getting that money no more coming in. Also, we all know, and you don't even have to be rich to know this. If you don't got no money coming in, the money that you do have, and you can have a nice amount of money, but if you don't have any money coming in, what that mean? The money that you do have is going to go out. So they crippled him. They crippled him. Now the question is, who is he going to rat on? Who is P. Diddy allegedly going to snitch on? Because y'all know how this thing work. We all know how this thing work. We all done spent the block hundreds and hundreds of times. So we know how this thing work. You get locked up, they want somebody. P. Diddy is a smaller fish inside a big, big tank. And there are piranhas in this tank. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure P. Diddy knows who they are. Now, the question is, who is he going to give up? Suntan says yes. He said he wasn't going by himself. Joe says he will get Epstein. We know there are bigger fish. Salute, Zena. Salute, Zena. So, who is he going to give up? And see, with the feds already got the footage, the videotape. The feds are like this. This is how the feds work. Salute Trelane. Trelane says it's over for Diddy. 15 years minimum. He has too many skeletons in his closet, from Kim Porter to Pop to Biggie. That's facts. Now that's facts, Trelane. Drop a 1 if y'all agree with Trelane. Trelane says it's over for Diddy. 15 years minimum. He has too many skeletons in his closet, from Kim Porter to Pop to Biggie. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all for P. Diddy. It's not. Am I happy? I mean, to be honest with you, I am happy. And I have to call a spade, because even though Cassidy settled out of court, that still was wrong for what we saw P. Diddy doing to her on that video. That was wrong. And I talk about accountability all the time. P. Diddy has to take accountability for his actions. You know, it is what it is. But now, with him being arrested, who is he going to give up? Somebody said Epstein. How do y'all think Jay-Z plays in this? Do y'all think that P.Diddy has dirt on Jay-Z? And do y'all think it's a strong possibility that he might tell the feds some things that Jay-Z has been doing? Wow, y'all. Wow. Wow. Appreciate that super chat, old man Afro Locks. That's my nephew. Appreciate that super chat, Mo. Appreciate that super chat. I dropped the link. If anybody want to join me on the panel, feel free to click on the YouTube link and join me on the panel. If anyone would like to join me on the panel, click on the YouTube link and join me on the panel. So as I stated, he just got hit with the $100 million lawsuit that he lost. Let's check out that lawsuit. And this was just a couple days ago, matter of fact. But let's check out the lawsuit that P. Diddy just lost. Like I said, $100 million lawsuit.
Breaking news tonight. Diddy done? The star now slammed with brand new claims of sex abuse and brutality. This as the feds are shredding a luxury hotel. Why? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
Lawsuit, but attorneys claim no matter how many suits are filed, Combs is innocent.
Really? After seeing that video of Sean Combs, aka Diddy, aka Puffy, aka Puff Daddy, I don't know how many there are. After seeing him dragging Cassie Ventura through a hotel, I think by her hair, I'd have to look at it again to see if it was her collar or her hair. Innocent? What am I supposed to believe? All of these people suing him are lying, and he, Diddy, is the only one telling the truth. I got a hard time believing that. It's coming at him from all sides. He just lost a $100 million default judgment. This, as we learned, he's selling his mansion. I think I know why, but there's more. Listen.
Federal prosecutors issued a subpoena against a Miami hotel as part of a secret grand jury investigation into Sean Diddy Combs. The hotel ordered to turn over all records regarding Combs and known associate Daphne Joy from 2008 to present day. The subpoena includes check-in and check-out dates, room numbers, guest requests, billing information, including email addresses and phone numbers, room service activity, hotel surveillance footage, computer IP addresses and logins for guests, and customer identifications and vehicle details.
What? That was a mouthful. Wait a minute. Let's break that down. Now, this as the Danity Kane singer Dawn Richards is suing Sean Diddy Combs for sex abuse and brutality. And in her pleadings, she's also claiming that she saw him punching and beating not only Cassie Ventura, well, we know that because we saw that with our own eyes in the hotel surveillance video, but others as well, including the mother of some of his children, Kim Porter, and more. What's next? First, let me address what I'm hearing about the feds. Can I tell you? I was a Fed for 3 years. They didn't put one toe into the courtroom until they had literally rooms full of boxes full of evidence. I know that. Let me go straight out to Nima Rahmani, former federal prosecutor turned trial attorney, president of the West Coast Trial Lawyers Association, author of Harvard to Hashtag, and also instructor at Harvard. Nima, thank you for being with us. Listen, the feds are descending on one hotel in particular. There may be others. Knowing the feds, there probably are others, but I know about this hotel, so I can speak freely about it. A Miami hotel, part of a secret grand jury investigation into Combs. Listen to what they want. Okay, this relates to not only Combs, but known associate Daphne Joy. It goes all the way back to 2008. That's a long way to dig back. Listen to what they want. Check-in, check-out dates, room numbers. I'm sure Diddy did not check in under his own name. So he's got to have his alias or his assistant. We got to get that information. Guest requests. What did they want? Did they want a lot of booze? Did they want personal favors from the concierge? Billing information to find out what all they were getting? Maybe they're trying to corroborate a claim of sex abuse or brutality, and they're actually getting the room service orders for that night or day. IP addresses, guest requests. What guest requests? Maybe. What if they called for band-aids or bandages or medicine or painkillers? I don't know. What guest requests are they talking about? I'm very interested in the room service activity, hotel surveillance footage, computer IP addresses, and logins for guests, customer IDs, even down to the vehicle information. You know, when you get
The feds want to know exactly who all was there. The feds want to know. The feds is on P. Diddy's ass like butter is on toast. It's not looking good right now for P. Diddy. The Homeland Security raided his homes back in March. I believe it was March the 25th. So you got April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months later. And a big shout out to Reggie Wright Jr. because Reggie Wright Jr. called the arrest of P. Diddy. He called it 3 months ago. Reggie Wright Jr. said P. Diddy will be getting arrested by the feds sometime in September. I don't know how Reggie Wright Jr. knew. Well, Reggie Wright Jr. is a former cop, and I'm sure he still has friends that's in law enforcement. But Reggie Wright Jr., shout out to Reggie Wright Jr., he called it 3 months ago. He said, sometime in September, the feds is going to arrest P. Diddy. So where does this put P. Diddy? What is going through his mind right now? Because this is some serious business that P. Diddy is in. This ain't no petty crime. This ain't no charge. You know, when you get arrested, depending on the charge, you know, you feeling happy. You like, oh man, I ain't worried about this, man. They ain't got nothing on me. Oh, yo, I ain't worrying about this, yo. 2 years, 5 years. Yo, I can lay down for 2 years. I can lay down for 5 years. This ain't none of that. This ain't none of that. This is some big boy ish that P. Diddy has gotten himself into, because not only is he looking at a long prison sentence, his legacy. We're talking about P. Diddy's legacy has been ruined. When you would mention P. Diddy's name a few years ago, it was excitement. It was a thing to mention his name. Now his name is steady decline it, because as I say it, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's one thing if P. Diddy was accused of a little something, you know, maybe him and his wife, or maybe him and his girlfriend had a little small altercation. Things like that happen. Hey, y'all, I'm not perfect. None of y'all are perfect. So some things you can understand. Well, you know, him and his wife, you know, they had a fallout, you know, they had a fight, you know, he hit her, you know, it's wrong to hit a woman, but, you know, it happens. You know, he apologized. They seem to be doing well. Or maybe he had a outside marital affair. He cheated. You know, he had a child on her. Things like that. You know, he might have got locked up, you know, for DUI, you know, small things. But if we go down the list of the accusations that was brought against P. Diddy, if we go down the list of all the victims, and the victims have been coming out about P. Diddy for years now. I mean, for years. So this is nothing new. It's like P. Diddy's track record is longer than Donald Trump's track record. When you look at his track record and just go back to his artists, Craig Mack, he didn't play fair. He didn't do right by Craig Mack. Biggie, he didn't do right by Biggie. The Locks, Total. The list goes on and on and on. Shine took the fall for P. Diddy. Shine done 10 years. Now, of course, P. Diddy made things right 20-something years later by Shine. But the fact of the matter is, P. Diddy didn't do right by his artists. He got a track record of not doing right by the people. Here we go.
But Big is writing all Junior Mafia.
Big shout out to Choke, no joke. Now, he's going to tell y'all, he's going to give y'all a brief history on P. Diddy. Shout out to Choke, no joke. Let's tune in and hear what Choke got to say.
Big is writing all Junior Mafia, Lil Kim, everything, but he telling Puff, they writing their own because he's in the publishing deal with Diddy, right?
Yeah.
This is what I think ultimately why Big got killed, because he was robbing Puff.
So does that clear Diddy's involvement with it?
No, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Because you kind of put that on, it seemed like you angled it like Reggie as the orchestrator, but where does Diddy fit in that equation then? Because people are trying to assume that he is connected to Tupac's assassination.
All right. First and foremost, let me say my points and views are speculation, right? This is just all through research. And my points of views is not the points of views of comedy. All right? First and foremost, let me say that, right? So, Reggie, I believe, is involved because let's take it back to Diddy, right? Mm-hmm. More recently, there's a rapper or a former rapper, I don't even know if he's a rapper anymore, but a guy named Little Sean did an interview recently, and that brought up more of Diddy's involvement to me, right?
Yeah.
The Quad Studios session, right? Where Tupac got shot, right? I believe that that's where the ultimate ending in Vegas, I think this is the origin.
Connected.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Why I say that is this, right? I watched this interview with Lil Sean more recently, and when he talked about it, the Quad shooting, this time he left blanks. He didn't want to mention Diddy name, and he didn't want to mention Jimmy Henchman name, right? Which was odd to me because when he left those blanks, I went and did research, and I went through all his interviews. I found his original interview with Combat Jack, where he names everybody, right? And the more recent one, he's just talking about, I got too much respect for these dudes. I don't want to mention their names. They my big brother. I'm like, damn, what are we talking about? So I go research, boom, find the Combat Jack joint. He giving all up, right? The blanks that was missing was Diddy and Jimmy Henchman, right? So now here's what happens. If you go look at the Vibe interview with Diddy, or MTV interview, sorry, with Biggie and Puff sitting on the couch. You know that one, right? Yeah. They are questioned about the shooting at Quad Studios. Diddy never mentioned Jimmy Henchman, right? So what happens is this. Pac is doing bad at the time, right? He's famous, but financially, he's hurting, right? Mm-hmm. They all know this. So Jimmy Henchman was trying to manage Pac. Pac wasn't like, nah, nigga, I'm not letting you manage me. You know what I'm saying? So that began the little friction, allegedly, right? He wouldn't let him manage him. Pac is in New York shooting above the rim, right? He's now hanging out with Haitian Jack, right? For whatever reason, they got close to him, and Pac is, finally financially messed up. Jack is taking him shopping, buying the Rolex. They getting in with him. They see his potential, and so how they do. It's like the hustlers that take care of the kid that know how to play basketball in the hood. Hopefully, you go to the NBA. I'm good, right? So Jack is looking out for Pac. Big knows Haitian Jack. You know what I'm saying? All of them, they know Haitian Jack, and they know his reputation. Big go and tell Pop, yo, don't be hanging with these niggas. These niggas ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Pop go back and tell Haitian Jack what Big said, and Big gets robbed. Fast forward. Jimmy Henchman has an argument for whatever reason with Pac on the phone, right? Now, Lance Rivera tells this story, and they on the phone, they say Pac arguing with a dude because Jimmy wanted Pac to do a verse for Little Sean. Pac said, yo, I'll do it for 7 bands, right? So he go to Ron G house, he do Ron G mixtape for free, but he charging these dudes, right? So Jimmy Henchman calls Pac, or one of his boys called Pac, whoever, to set up the session, right? Now, this falls on the tail of the rape case, right? Lil Sean, Jack, and Pac hang out, right? Now, Lil Sean said when he met Pac, they never even had no conversation. They rode in the car together. They went to a spot, Nels or whatever. They hung out, whatever, right? That's where Pac got headed from the girl on the dance floor. That's where he met the girl, Ayanna Jackson, or whatever, right? But Lil Sean is saying that him and Pac never had no no interaction yet. They never had no interaction for them to be doing no song, and they don't even make the same type of music for them to be doing the song with them, right? So Lil Sean, so Jimmy and Pac have this phone call where they threatening each other. Yo, nigga, I'll kill you, according to Hunt, right? So when Pac get off the phone, they ask Pac, yo, who you talking to like that? And he's like, some nigga named Jimmy Henchman. And they like, Jimmy Henchman? Nigga, you crazy? Like, yo, Jimmy Henchman, yo, I do to kill you. You like, yo, we gotta get guns, right? So this is all going on, right? So now Pac and them go to the studio. Like, well, he said, Pac, like, yo, so what, we need guns or whatever. Like, yeah, nigga, we need guns, whatever. So Jimmy called and like, yo, I got your money, whatever, show up to the studio, allegedly, right? So when Pac is coming to the studio, right? Now here's where Puff comes in at, right?
Listen.
Pac is coming to the studio. Well,
he's about to break down P. Diddy's involvement with the Quad Studio shooting and robbery of Pac. Listen.
Pac is coming to the studio. Puff finds out that Biggie and them is having a session, a Junior Mafia session. Now, allegedly, Puff don't know about this session, and remember, Biggie is screwing Puff over because he got a publishing deal with Diddy, right? But Big is writing all Junior Mafia, Lil Kim, everything, but he telling Puff they writing their own because he's in the publishing deal with Diddy, right? This is what I think ultimately why Big got killed, because he was robbing Puff, right? We'll get to that, right? So when Pac is coming to the studio to do the verse for Little Sean, when he see Little C's on the balcony, he like, yo, Pac, what up? He's assuming that Big in them is upstairs in the session that he's going to do the verse. Right? This is why he blamed Big in them in the beginning. Right? So when he comes around the corner, you know, the dudes who we know who they are now, they in front of the Quad, Haslow, whatever. Pac and them go in, right? When they go in, the whole robbery happened. I ain't got to recap that whole thing, right? But after the shooting and everything, Pac and them get on the elevator. When they go upstairs, they don't go to Big session, right? Now, what people don't know is Puff didn't know about Big session. Somebody called them and told them that they was up there, right? Now, Jimmy Hitchman's upstairs waiting for Pac to come up. Them niggas was just beefing. Nigga, how can you, right? Puff is upstairs with Jimmy Hitchman, right? Getting ready to bust in on Biggie and them, little secret ass session. But Puff ain't going in there by himself. He going with Jimmy. But before that can happen, the altercation with Pac happens downstairs. Right. So when Pac get on the elevator, come upstairs, and the elevator open, Puff is in there with Jimmy. Not only is Puff in there with Jimmy, Andre Harrell's in there because Pac, Andre Harrell been taking Pac out, to lunch and stuff and dinner and stuff, trying to give him a job on New York undercover, because they telling Andre that Pac is hurting for money. So he like, yo, I'm gonna give you a recurring role. So he's there to meet Pac to talk to him about the New York undercover. While Puff is there, I don't know, right? While Jimmy is there, we already know they was just beefing, right?
Why was Puffy there in that studio with Jimmy Henchman, knowing Jimmy Henchman and Pac beefing, knowing they get ready to bring a move to Pac? Well, they already brought the move to Pac downstairs. That's why Pac always blamed Puffy and them. He didn't necessarily blame them for actually being the ones that done it, because he know who done it. He just blamed them for like, yo, why y'all didn't give me the heads up?
Right? So Pac come in, he shot, right? When he go to sit down and shit, he can stand back up because he shot himself in the nuts, right? So he like looking around, what's going on? Right? So they call the police. He tells man, roll him out, this, that, and other. When the ambulance come, he getting off the elevator. Now, in Combat Jack's interview with Little Sean, he says Pac and Jimmy both standing right there at the elevator. Like Pac is on, he's on the other side. And Pac is like, yo, what's up, nigga? What's up? What the fuck is going on? And Jimmy like, yo, come here, nigga. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. Elevator closed. Douche. That's the last time they seen each other, right? Mm-hmm. This is why Pop starts going at Bad Boy. Mm-hmm. Puff, you was there with this nigga Jimmy Henchman. I was just beefing with this nigga. I just got shot up. Right. You here with this nigga? Big, you supposed to be my man. He thinking Big and was all together. No. Puff was getting ready to run down on Big ass. He got the muscle with him. Mm. You hear what I'm saying? He couldn't run up in Big session with in there. You know what I'm saying?
The $1 million question is, did P. Diddy know what was getting ready to happen to Pop? P. Diddy, when Pop got off that elevator, P. Diddy was standing with Jimmy Henchman. Remember, Pop and Jimmy Henchman had words over the phone. When it played out, Jimmy Henchman is the one that set it up for Pop to get robbed. So P. Diddy was up there with Jimmy Henchman. Now, according to Choke, he's saying, yeah, P. Diddy was with Jimmy Henchman, but P. Diddy was only with Jimmy Henchman because P. Diddy was using Jimmy Henchman as muscle to go and confront Biggie enough. But the point that is made is P. Diddy is still involved. P. Diddy is still around. And this is back in 94. 94, 95. I'm just showing y'all a track record of P. Diddy. This is the beginning of P. Diddy's dark secrets. There will be more that I will get into on tomorrow's demonstration once I get all of the details tomorrow as far as what P. Diddy has been charged with, what his bail situation is, and all of the other legal procedures that he's dealing with. So I will make sure to pick up right here where we left off at on tomorrow's demonstration. Salute, Perk. I see you down there, Perk. Appreciate you for pulling up. But as you know, breaking news, P. Diddy has been taken into custody by the feds. He has been taken into custody by the feds. So for all content creators, we getting ready to eat. For all content creators, we're getting ready to eat. I'm glad too, Perk. I'm glad too. And make sure everyone support the Switching Lanes sector. Perk, Vino Entertainment TV is one of those content creators that belong to the sector, as well as myself, Still Swinging Podcast, Shano from Chopping It Up TV, Miss Parker, Just Me TT, Not On My Watch, and there are other content creators as well. And we are looking forward to merging our Switching Lanes sector with other sectors. So if you're a content creator and you're out there and you want to get down with if you want to get down with the Switching Lanes sector, just hit me up or hit Perk, Miss Parker, hit somebody up, and we'll welcome you into the sector. Once again, salute. I appreciate everybody for pulling up, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Salute.